early in the morning, heart of South Philly. Let's go see what the people have got to say. I'm ready to roll, baby.
Now listen here, Dutch. Mets and the Cowboys, they suck.
1, 2, 3, go Birds! Go Birds! What we got? 302BIRDS, Gino Stinks. Go Birds! Oh my gosh, chat.
Your favorite Chicagoan. Go Phils.
As always, God bless. Go Birds.
Get your water ice and soft pretzels ready because you are now tuned into a 302BIRDS podcast experience. Proudly presented by TickPick, Nick's Pizza, El Diablo Burritos, and Klondike Kate's on the heart of Main Street. Let's take it to the show.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Oh, KJ, you have such a good voice, man. Thank you for backing me up there. But what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a very special edition, the Christmas episode version of the podcast. We all got on our Christmas sweaters. Unfortunately, Jackson couldn't make it tonight. I know he would love to be here. He is a very, very big Christmas guy, as I know a lot of you guys out there are. But if you're hanging out with us tonight on this lovely Wednesday night, be sure to drop a Merry Christmas in the comments. Let us know how you're doing. Just a quick overview of our topics, and then we're going to get into our call-in. If you're rocking out with us on Twitter or Instagram or YouTube, whatever, drop a like, drop a comment, drop a retweet. All that stuff helps out a ton. But first, we're going to be breaking down what the hell is going on with the Philadelphia Phillies. They're not really doing anything. I know that's got Shardy going crazy, and I totally understand why. We're going to be talking about Paul George and Maxey going off for a combined 73 points. Going to talk about the Eagles. We're state champions, guys. We did it. We did it. We won the state championship.
We took over PA.
We're
The Kings of the Keystone.
We're champs. Talk about the passing game being all good, and a lot of people overemphasizing that drama. Talk about Brandon Graham potentially coming back for a Super Bowl return. Quinyon Mitchell now leading the pack for the Defensive Rookie of the Year favorite. And last but not least, we're going to be doing our Browns birdie and giving you guys a Week 16 preview as we get ready to square off here against those wretched Commandos. But since Jack's not here, I'm going to go ahead and hit the El Diablo intro for our call-in.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo Burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking you how your day is. Their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos and tell them that 302BIRDS sent you. God bless. Go Birds.
Guys, if you haven't tried El Diablo Burritos yet and you're living in Delaware, what are you doing with your life? I would give it 5 big booms. But in all seriousness, it is the spot. Want to welcome our call-in to the show tonight. Somebody who has been messaging me. He's been a committed fan, and he's been a long-time Eagles fan. I just heard his story backstage about how he was born into it like we all were. But Andrew, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Hey, we're great.
Wow.
Not too bad.
But what do you got for us tonight, my man?
So I had one question, but I think I'm going to ask this one. Will Saquon Barkley beat Eric Dickerson's record?
Ooh.
I love this
I guess
question.
since Jack
KJ,
is
you want to
here,
go ahead and
I'll-
take it
I'll do
first?
Yeah, I'll take it first. So I kind of did the math about this, and it's a great question. It seems like from what Saquon had this weekend, and obviously, I mean, like we got 3 more games left. I think they're honestly going to try and kind of put the I mean, I guess you could say put like the foot to the pedal a little bit, kind of step on the gas, like not step on the gas. But it seems like with Saquon, though, I mean, I think he's got like 400 plus more yards to get the record to beat Eric Dickerson's record, which would have to mean that he would have to have like 200-yard games. It would have to be insane, or if anything, maybe have like a crazy 100 like 70-yard game, and then obviously the two other games would have to be like. I guess it would have to, they would have to be crazy games. They would have to. So I would have to say no. I'm probably going to have to say no. Can he still win MVP? I mean, Josh Allen kind of made like a statement that he's going to win the MVP this weekend against the Lions. So we'll see what happens. But if I had to say, I would probably say no. I mean, but I still think he's still one of the best Eagles running backs already. I mean, even in like his first season, he's already making a statement that he's already kind of put his fingerprint really into this, like into the Eagles' legacy. That's what I think.
Ashley, how are you feeling about it?
Can he do it? Yes. Should he do it? No. He really needs to, in my opinion, be well rested going into the playoffs. Our team needs to be firing on all cylinders come whether it's wild card weekend or we get the bye. Either option, he needs to be at his best. And what we saw this weekend is that we are showing that he, even though we think that he is superhuman, he is not. And he needs to be, again, just well rested. I would rather them ease off a little bit, let him kind of be rotated in, work on that pass game that we'll talk about it later in the show is still really strong, and kind of be not just a rushing team or not just a passing team, but kind of match everybody together.
Andrew, I love this question, man. I think that this is a fantastic question that you brought for us tonight. Ashley, you hit the nail on the head. Can he? Yeah. Should he? I'll say yeah. Oh, I'm going to take the WWE change of things. Why not? Look, if you look at what he needs, he's not that far off. And it's the NFC East gauntlet. So I will say, if there was a division that you could arguably play against, there's maybe like one or two other divisions that you could probably get this record against. The NFC East is one of them. So he's got a good chance to do it still. But I'll say this. If it means that he's not going to be the same Saquon Barkley going into that first game of the playoffs, I'm not for it then. Because what we got to keep in mind, and I've said this a little bit, and I'll emphasize it tonight, guys, keeping him healthy for the Super Bowl is great. And everybody's like, well, he's just got to get to the Super Bowl and be able to play. Guys, what are we going to be talking about the day after the Super Bowl if we play in it? We're going to be talking about, well, what about next year? Saquon Barkley's here on a 3-year deal. We got to conserve the man. Andrew, how are you feeling about the whole thing?
So I think I'm going to have to piggyback off of her. Can he do it? Absolutely. Should he? Probably not, because you got to think it's a division game. Anything can happen in a division game, even if two of the four teams are not very good at all. You know, the Cowboys are trying to derail us. They hate us. We hate them. It's going to be a bloodbath. It always is. And it's a Kelly Green Day game, so it's just, the Giants might just not care. They might just roll over and die because they're looking at picks for this coming up draft. So, I mean, if you want to do it, if you want to have a crazy game and have Saquon, do it against them. But I want him to be healthy, and I don't know if you guys know this. Do you know when the Super Bowl is? What day it is? Because I looked this up. It was Devontae Smith's birthday when I looked this up. I was like, I wonder when Saquon's birthday is. Do you know what day that is?
It's like
I'm not sure what
February 20th or something.
It's February 9th. Do you know what else has happened February 9th?
That is the Super Bowl.
Saquon birthday in the Super Bowl. That would be wild.
That would be insane.
So if he plays in the Super Bowl, it's on his birthday?
It'll be on his birthday.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I think to kind of piggyback off that as well, I do feel like we saw in the beginning of the season where Saquon, obviously, he had that crazy game against the Giants where he had a homecoming and he went off on them. And then Sirianni said, hey, do you want to go back out there and get your season, your career high, which he did eventually beat it. So I think like against, I forget who it was, but
the Rams.
Rams. Yeah, the Rams. That's who it was, against the Rams.
Crazy.
So he didn't do it against the Giants. But I think for him, though, he wants to do whatever it takes to win. And I think he doesn't really care about the records, really. I mean, I think he kind of is just like, you know what, that's great and whatever. And I care about the past. I care about the people that were here before me and everything like that. But also, like, I want to win a Super Bowl. I want to win games for this team. I want to prove people wrong. And then I actually think, not then, but I'm saying, like, I actually think that's what he's all about. And I think that when it comes down to it, I think he just wants to win games. He doesn't care about records, and that's what I think about it. So I totally agree.
Yeah.
Andrew, do you have any thoughts about the Eagles going into the playoffs and expectations for that team? Like, if, say, the team goes to the NFC Championship but loses, I mean, where are you satisfied? Is it Super Bowl or bust? Is it make it to the Super Bowl? I mean, where are you happy at after the season, or at least satisfied with the way that this season could shake out?
Well, with the way that Nick Sirianni has evolved to become a better coach, he's letting Vic do his thing. He's letting Kellen do his thing. And you can see it because it's not 2022, 2023, you know? Honestly, if we can make it to the NFC Championship game, I'd be happy. As long as it's not a complete disaster or blowout. I would be very upset, but if it was hard-fought tooth and nail and it was a close game, I'd be happy. Of course, the end goal will always be a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, the NFC East is the only conference or the only division in the NFL where all 4 teams have a Super Bowl win. Unless that changed recently.
No, I think it's still in
in
action, or it's still
legitimate.
legitimate.
Us, I believe.
Yeah, it still matters.
I mean, that's all we want. We always want that ring. You know, we want another one. The only thing bad about it is if we do get it, I'm heartbroken for Fletch and I'm heartbroken for Jason because they weren't here, you know. And the way they went out was, you know, last year was horrendous. We were all heartbroken. It should have never have ever happened. And then we even saw peaks of it. We saw peaks of it with the first 4 games, and then we had the bye, and then we just went on a tear.
I'll say one.
People, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry, my fault.
No, people are still sleeping on us. I think I saw a power ranking, and since the Lions lost, they put the Chiefs up there. But the Chiefs are playing like we were last year, where they were barely winning games. And now Patrick Mahomes is out, and you have the Chiefs over us when we've been on a tear the whole time. And then you say our passing game, then we just prove you wrong. I mean, I'm okay with being second. It takes the target off of us and gives us takes the pressure off of us. But that's another thing about these Eagles groups. They thrive under it. They love it. You know?
And going off of that, and one thing I was going to say too is I think last year, I know it sucked. I know it was tough with Fletch and Jason. You never want to try to lose, right? But looking at where this team is right now, I don't want to say like the way that last year ended, but it's almost an advantage for this team because this team, like there's the only way to go is up from there. They were embarrassed. They were, crucified in front of that team. And it was an embarrassment for our fans, for the team. And it was just it just wasn't something that is Philadelphia, and Philadelphia fans should be proud to put their brand on. The team knows it. They know they got to be better this year. And I think with that being said, the only way to go is up from here. Andrew, I want to thank you, my man, for joining us, for checking out our page. Let everybody know where they can check you out too.
Trivelli _2017. That is TRI, V is Victor, ELLI _2017. You can have me there, guys.
We appreciate you, man. We'll be
appreciate you guys
to come back on the show when you get some time. Thank you.
Oh yeah, go Birds!
Go Birds!
Go Birds! Let's go.
Eagles fly.
That's what it's about, guys. If you guys are an Eagles fan, you want to call in, let us know. Andrew, we just followed each other. He hit me up in the DMs. He's like, hey, man, can I come on the show? I was like, hell yeah. We've been talking back and forth for probably about 2 months about it, maybe. And, it finally happened tonight. So if you guys want to call into the show, please shoot us a DM, and we will make it happen. But let's go ahead into our first topic. Unfortunately, he isn't here, but he's still here in spirit. I could only imagine Dutch, I'm going to wear the Mets logo as my ugly sweater. Time for Phillies talk with Ballpark Tommy. Dingers, Dutch. All right, Ballpark Tommy isn't here, but I am obligated, of course, to shout out our sponsor for the segment, Nick's Pizza. Oh, look at that. I'm even rocking it under my ugly sweater. But Nick's Pizza is actually getting ready to close this Friday. So if you guys haven't, go there before it closes. No, they're not closing for good. They're closing.
We would probably both have a heart attack.
Bigger place. They're upgrading, and that's such an awesome achievement. Merry Christmas to you, Andrew. We appreciate you.
Merry Christmas, Andrew.
Shout out to Nick's Pizza. If you guys haven't tried them, KJ McCoy freaking will finish the whole thing if you put it in front of him. That's how good it is. But Max, with that being said, I'll let you take this one first. Will the Phillies make a move, and have you been disappointed with what they've done so far?
Oh, it's been disappointing for sure. I mean, disappointing is probably an understatement for sure. I mean, this has been a tragedy. I mean, seeing all these teams pick up these players. I mean, us not getting Kyle Tucker was just a stab in the heart because I really do feel like Kyle Tucker was a name that honestly could have honestly kind of shooken up this team and kind of helped us for the future. Obviously, well, even though it would be a 1-year deal with Kyle Tucker because he's going to be unrestricted free agent the next year. So the Cubs are going to have him for probably a year. Maybe they'll extend him. We'll see what happens. But they tried to trade Alec Boehm to the Cubs. I mean, not the Cubs, the Astros. They tried to trade him to the A's, and even the A's, who don't even have a city right now. They play in Sacramento at a minor league stadium that is not affiliated with the Athletics at all, not even affiliated with them. They didn't even want Alec Boehm. They didn't even want him. So, yeah, it's very disappointing because Alec Boehm is an all-star. We're trying to trade him. Nobody wants him. And we can't get a move. And we can't sign anybody free agency because the problem is we're paying Trey Turner right now a crazy amount of money. We're paying Bryce, we're paying all these players, and it sucks to see all these teams like the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets of all teams, just getting these star players and us just getting slapped around and just watching it like we're just like, oh, you know what? Like we just have a stick and we're just poking at it, and we're like, do something. So it's really disappointing, and I am so fed up. God knows when they are going to make a move, but Dombrowski, wake up. Wake up. That's all I got to say.
Is that what you would say if you went in his office, KJ? Wake up, just like that?
Yeah, I would say wake up. I would get an alarm clock. I would get an air horn. I would get whatever, and I would tell him to wake up. I would maybe smack him around a couple times too. Smack his face till it's freaking red. And till it's red as the Phillies logo, I would smack his face.
You're going to get some cold this year, man. Look out.
Wait, okay.
Joey, I know you're listening. 1825.
Wait, who?
Smack him around, make his face red.
Seriously,
red
that's going to be the quote of the night. Oh my God.
That was a good one, Mac.
That was, yeah. I don't think it's a matter of when they make a move. I think it's a matter of if. I am thinking that at this point, even though we're kind of stuck in this perpetual cycle of like just not being able to we've said they get hot when it matters until they don't. And I think Dave's going to sit on this one and just let it ride. I don't think anything really major is going to change. There are definitely financial components to that, but then you look at teams like the Yankees, the Dodgers, who are paying ridiculous amounts of money, most of it not for another 15 years, which that's a whole other conversation we could go into. Not now, not this podcast. But I don't think anything really is going to change. I think this is going to be something that we're just going to kind of look back in a couple months and be like, wait, we're at the season and nothing has changed.
Yeah, I think for Phillies fans, they're just frustrated. And I say they because you know what? At this moment, I am officially resigning. No, I'm kidding. I'm not resigning from being a Phillies fan. I just
I'm
said
say,
it.
I'm going to come over there and do what I was about to do to Dombrowski if you say you're dismissed as a Phillies fan. About to say that.
Anyway, before I get another death threat over there from fucking Mac Claus or
It was
whatever
not
you
a
want to
death
call
threat.
it.
I was just joking. And Dombrowski, if you're watching, I was joking as well.
I'm kidding. Don't worry. You don't need to explain it. But what I want to say is, I get it. Shard's been upset. Brendan's been upset. Ballpark Tommy has had 3 aneurysms already, and he's ready to choke somebody out at Wawa because
I hate this, Dutch. I hate this shit.
So frustrating. They need to make a move. They need to do something. Santander, Bregman, somebody. Don't bring back Alec Boehm. The fact that Alec Boehm has been passed on by 31 teams in the MLB, that should just show the Phillies and their fans that we don't need him. You don't need him. I know Chris was giving me and KJ some crap this weekend on Sippin' Sports. He was saying, hey, keep Alec Boehm. The fact that 31 teams have passed on him, that tells me everything that I need to know. I love Alec Boehm as a person too, so it's really hard for me to say that. But this team is sitting still, and they're sitting still in quicksand, and it is not fucking getting any better or any better for him. Literally, there's no other way to put it. I mean, it's just getting worse by the second. Quicksand.
Yeah.
But moving along now into our next segment, I'm going to give a little bounce pass on the court to KJ McCoy.
You are now listening to KJ's Court. Sixers Talk presented by the Sleeper app.
Yeah, the Sixers, they had a pretty good game against the Hornets recently, and Paul George and Maxey went off. Unfortunately, though, and this seems to always happen, there's always a Sixers player every so on that just gets the injury bug. And our shining star, our rookie star, he was going to be the rookie of the year, but you can take the bets off the list, Holt. Take it off the list. Get out of your bet because Jared McCain will not be the rookie of the year because he is pretty much out for the rest of the season, most likely. Unfortunately,
Can I show the video really quick before you get into your next? Did you see it yet? Dude, he's
I did see it.
What's up, TikTok? Just got out of surgery, and I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you. I love you. We the best music.
Take the phone away from him, man.
Yeah.
Well, who allowed him to have his phone? That's
I don't want to seem like we're laughing at an injury. Okay, I want to preface this whole topic for any fucking person out there. Oh, you guys are laughing at an injury. 302 birds is a bunch of.
We are not. I will say this, though. We are not doing that at all.
You can watch this with a straight face.
What's up, TikTok?
Put the phone down, as Ashley said. I love Jared McCain. I love him. This dude has stolen the hearts of Philadelphia fans because guess what? It don't fucking matter what you do if you ball on that court. And this dude is a Broad Street baller. But I don't know, man. That fucking video right there, he looks gone.
Yeah, I mean, I've had past experience of kind of being loopy like that after surgery.
I would pay to see that.
No, seriously. Like my parents told me about it. Like after I had nose surgery, when I played basketball in high school, I never really got injured pretty much like ankles or nothing with like my knees or anything like that. Nothing really happened with that. It was a snaz. I always got the snaz hit. I was a smaller player, but I would always try and go in the lane. You could ask any of my teammates. I was always driving in the lane, either dishing it off or going for a layup. And that always cost me because I would sometimes have people going up, especially taller guys, and they would get me with the elbow, and my nose is pretty large. So, I mean, you can't really miss it. So that was the major thing. And you would just you guys remember when Ron Artest, at the moment, Meta World Peace, did the elbow at James Harden when he was playing for the Thunder? That's what happened to me like 4 times in high school. And you would just see my nose gushing out blood and all that disgusting stuff that we don't want to talk about. But yes, I was very loopy. My mom said that apparently I was talking about iguanas on the ceiling or something like that. I was talking about like, oh, there's lizards up on the ceiling. Watch out and everything like that. So I mean, you get loopy, you get on that, what's it called, kind of medicine and everything like that. And I think that's what's going on with Jared McCain.
I don't know what he's on, but I mean, it does, like I said, it doesn't matter when you ball out. And I have a whole fucking list of jokes that I could make, but at the end of the day, like I said, it only matters that he gets healthy. Jokes aside, somebody take a phone away from him, because there's a time when you don't need to vlog and make a TikTok, and it's probably not 15 seconds after coming out of the OR. That's just me.
Well, I mean, I hate to break it to Ash. I hate to break it to Dolt, though, but you're going to be seeing way more TikToks from this guy for sure. You might be seeing
too much time on his hands.
You're going to see a lot more time on his hand. You're going to see a lot more vlogs and everything like that. You might even see him going to the doctors or whatever, and him and his doctor doing like some dance or whatever. You might see that. They might be doing some kind of Trizzy dance.
Hey, TikTok, today I get a physical.
Yeah, dude. Him and his doctor are going to be doing a Drake dance. I'm telling you right now. They're going to be doing that. But yeah, back to that graphic that we just pulled up to about Maxey and Paul George. That was a great game to watch. Paul George, I believe he had 33 points. That was great to see it from him, because obviously he's kind of doing that load management kind of thing. I'm hoping that he's going to stop doing that crap and not do what Embiid's doing. But he played a great game. And Maxey as well, especially after hearing the whole thing and obviously hearing about their teammate, Jared McCain. I think they kind of fed off that, and they're like, all right, you know what? We got to go out there. We got to ball out. And we got to be a team that we've already beaten this year. They beat the Hornets, and yeah, they just they had a great game. They got to keep it going, and they're kind of itching up on the standings a little bit. They're still down below sea level right now, but they're itching back up. They're working their way up. They're moving on up just a little bit. So we'll see what happens. It's still early. I mean, they just had the stupid NBA Cup. It finished. Yes, the NBA Cup's over. Thank God. The stupid NBA Cup. The stupidest tournament. They need to eliminate it. It's just stupid. They even had champagne out for the Bucks yesterday, who won the NBA Cup. They had champagne and Michelob Ultra, and they weren't even allowed to touch it because the coach was like, we didn't really win anything. Yeah. I mean, you really didn't. It's not an NBA championship. It's a cup. It's not like it's a Stanley Cup. It's an NBA Cup. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the NBA Cup thing. But, yeah, the Sixers, we'll see what happens. But we need Embiid back. We need him back.
You need Embiid back in physical. You need Embiid back in mental. And you need Embiid back in spirit. And you really kind of only have one of the three, which is physical. I don't think he's having fun yet. I don't think he really wants to be out there yet. He had that game last week, I guess it was, where he played good basketball. He didn't have a bad game, don't get me wrong. But he's not the Embiid, the king of Philadelphia that we know, the trust the process, right? So Paul George and Maxey, it's great to see them step up when the team needs them the most, because
I'll say this, and I hate to interrupt like this, but
you're good.
I saw a comment that Charge said, thoughts on Embiid's sinus fracture. I mean, Embiid, for some reason, has had some history where he's got hit in the face. He had that whole phantom mask that he had a couple of years ago. It was a pretty good whack. I didn't think it was going to be a fracture. I just thought it was kind of like a overreaction, because Embiid is like one of the biggest babies I've ever seen in my life. But, I mean, I know that the guy says he plays through a lot of injuries, because he does. But at the same time, though, I mean, the whole sinus fracture, I mean, that's just crazy. I did not think in that kind of play, I mean, the impact that he had, I did not think it was going to be any kind of fracture or anything like that. I just thought it was a big kind of collision, but it was just like a smack. And I guess like for some reason, and I saw him on the ground, and he was like, oh, my face. Oh, my God. Oh, no, I look like the Squidward from SpongeBob now. My face all different now. Like, that's what it was like. And yeah, it was I didn't think it was that serious, but it obviously is.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes for the Sixers and how this season shakes out. We appreciate all you guys in the comments who have given us some Sixers comments. I know the biggest Sixers fan in the world, and Matt Bear being here. We appreciate the hell out of you, man. But moving on to our next topic, I know we got to keep it rolling because I got to get out of here right at 10. If you guys aren't doing anything tonight, tune into the Fantastic Sports Show at around 11:30. Going to be going on there to hang out with Jason Martinez and Breland Moore. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun on Fox 29. But We did it. We won the state championship. Let's go.
Keystone.
We did it. Let's go.
Keystone.
Can't beat Philly. Can't do it.
Beat
There's
Philly.
2 teams in Philadelphia. This kind of reminds me of when I was in high school. Went to Salesianum. Shout out to Sally's if any Delaware listeners are out there who are watching the show right now. And the rugby state championship for a long time was a big deal. But there were only 2 teams that played in the rugby state championship every year. So all the time for the rugby state championship, it was like only 2 teams. So that was the joke in it. But anyway, sorry. KJ, you threw me off, man. You're interrupting me. I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
You were saying about okay. I'm sorry. You were saying how
You're good.
You were saying how
I forgot now, but it's fine. We'll get into we'll get
won
into it later. I
Pennsylvania.
forgot. But PA champs, how are you feeling about it?
I feel great. I mean, the Steelers. I tried to tell you though. I went on a rant last week, and I told you guys, Wawa's better than Sheets. The Phillies are better than the Pirates. Pierogies are worse than cheese. Cheesesteaks are better than pierogies. And Philadelphia is better than Pittsburgh. And they cannot beat us in Philly. They can't. And shout out to my buddy Rome. He had his friends from Scranton come down, and some of them were Steelers fans. They're talking mad crap to me about the Steelers, saying, yo, Russ is going to cook you guys. Russell Wilson. Oh, he's Mr. Invincible, whatever he's like, or whatever he called himself. Undeniable, whatever he is. I don't care. But guess what? He was unreliable. Wilson. Yeah, he was unreliable. That's what I saw from him. I was at the game, and he looked like dog water. He looked horrible. I mean, he was just bad. He was bad. And they had 2 prime opportunities to score, and they didn't. They did score. They just scored for field goals. They didn't score a touchdown. They scored field goals. They did score a touchdown in the game. They scored one. Fryermuth got a nice touchdown. That was the only good part because he was a former Penn Stater. But, yeah, the Steelers have not beaten the Eagles since they haven't beaten them in Philadelphia since 1965. And that streak keeps on going. They're not going to be able to play us in Philadelphia, I'm pretty sure, for another 8 years because of how it works. I think it's because
I thought it was every 4. Didn't they play every other?
Yes and no, but they're going to be playing at Pittsburgh the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we played them twice already in Philly. So that's why.
Gotcha. Yeah, I couldn't
we already played them. So we played them 2 years ago. They were the random AFC team we played. This year, our random AFC team was the Jaguars. We didn't play the AFC. I think that's the AFC South. Yeah, that's the division. We didn't play the AFC South, actually. We only played the Jaguars. It was the only random team we played. So 2 years ago, the random team we played was the Steelers, and that's when AJ went off. And he didn't really go – I mean, he did go off in this game. He didn't have 3 touchdowns. He didn't get a taunting violation or whatever like last time, which was cool. But, yeah, no, he had a great game. Devontae had a great game, and it was a great game to be at. The Steelers fans, there was a lot. I'll tell you that. I mean, for someone who was there, a lot of piss towels around. I was telling Dole, I was like, dude, there's a lot of piss towels around here. It's kind of pissing me off. It's pissing me off. And I was a little pissed about it. But you know what, though? We sent those people back home. We sent them back to the shittier part of Pennsylvania. Sent them bags packing back to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And they went back on their little cars and their little clown van. So that was great to see. Great to see.
Ash, how'd you feel about it?
I was really nervous about this game. I think I'm just like waiting for a shoe to drop at this point with this team. So I thought it was going to be this one. Steelers are known for playing incredibly physical. There was definitely tempers flaring throughout the game, especially earlier than I thought. I knew that the Steelers thought they were in trouble when they put Justin Fields in the game, who then actually like majorly injured himself on the first play that he played. Did not know that until Monday, but little kind of tidbit there. But it was an exciting win. This momentum, seeing the pass game. Obviously, we talked about this last week, that the pass game was obviously going to be highlighted this week, but it is good to see that we can use that. And I'm hoping that kind of between now and the end of the season, we can figure out how to mesh our passing game and our rushing game.
Yeah, and I will say this too, Dole. The one thing about the Steelers, though, and I will give them credit, they have probably the best run defense we've seen this season. really go against us. I mean, they really actually contained Saquon Barkley. I mean, he only had 65 yards. So they contained him. They made sure that he wouldn't be able to they kind of made it harder for him now to beat the record of Eric Dickerson, because he's got a certain amount of yards he's got to have. And now it's going to be even harder now because he didn't have the best of games. But I think it was because they were just they were really trying to contain him. They were really focusing on him. That's why Jalen was able to have such a great game passing wise. He was able to prove the doubters wrong. People were saying, oh, he can't pass. Oh, he can't keep it going. He can't let that other game behind that he just played against the Panthers. He can't let it go. He did let it go. He had a great game. He was able to get the ball to Devontae and AJ and even Calcaterra. So that was great to see Calcaterra get in the mix as well. So, yeah, I think it was a great team win, and they keep it going, and they are the state champs. We own Pennsylvania. Schittsburg, get out of here.
I'll say this. All the Amish people from fucking Pittsburgh are salty that now they're going to get their fucking Yelp reviews. Well, there's still some that are out there in that western area that I'm sure would claim to be Pittsburgh Steelers fans. My point is, all the bumblefuck people, now they have to kind of suffer. They have to know. Once again, I forgot my point that I was going to say. Thanks, Mac.
I'm sorry, but I don't think there's any Amish over in Pittsburgh, really.
I know what I was going to say now. But the only other thing I had to say, like KJ said, I think earlier, Eagles defense shut down the Steelers run game, but we also shut down Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was a whole talk, like KJ also alluded to with the 1965 thing. The thing that the Steelers fans were saying going into the game was, well, Eagles have never beaten Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson threw for 128 passing yards and 1 touchdown. He had a QBR of 94.5. Ooh, you know what I mean? Like, that's so scary. That's not a good game at all, Steelers fans. So you guys should be ashamed. Philadelphia now is going to lunch the trophy, the state trophy, which is probably a hoagie wrapped in a terrible towel, or as KJ would call it, a piss towel. It's like a golden hoagie wrapped in a towel that has a shit stain across it. That's the PA state trophy.
Probably a sheet stain.
And it smells like weed or something really like Pennsylvania. Yeah, like a combination of weed, a parking lot, and you know what? A cheesesteak. That's what it smells like, a combination of. So, you know what? For the PA State Trophy, shout out to the Eagles. Moving along now to our next topic. Very proud of the Eagles, but their passing game also looks really good. I mean, I said it in one of my videos. They didn't just silence the haters. They turned up the volume on them. They don't care what people say. Jalen Hurts knows that whether it's Saquon Barkley or through the air, this team can beat so many different teams in so many different ways. And the advantage that they have on a lot of teams, this defense is really, 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 really good. And really, 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 really good defenses win championships. Passing game, though, was a plus. How are you feeling about it this week, Mac?
I think it was great. I mean, from my view of the game, it was great to see Hurts get AJ involved. I love seeing when Jalen can get AJ in a rhythm, when he could get AJ right there for the slants. I love the slant play. I mean, like when they have that chemistry that they have, where people were like, oh, they don't have chemistry anymore. They hate each other. I mean, that's one thing too we haven't actually even brought up yet. I don't know if we were going to bring it up too. The crazy thing is people were like, oh yeah, Jalen and AJ, they have all this drama right now. They have all this kind of like this beef that's going on. But then once that touchdown happened, and I saw Dalt's video too, I mean, right there, it just shut those people up. And it was a great moment to see that happen. But yeah, it was great to see Jalen, honestly. I mean, getting in the rhythm and really just getting the ball to Devontae, getting it to AJ, getting it to Calcaterra. I mean, that first play, that first throw that Jalen had, and it was like a needle through the thread, man. It was nice. Like it was right through the thick of the defense. Like, and it was really nice to Calcaterra. That I don't know if you remember that play. And I was thinking it was like for maybe 15 yards, maybe 20 yards. And it was a great ball. It was a really good ball. And I looked at my dad, who was a couple seats right next to me, and I was like, that was a pretty good throw by Hurts. And I was like, that's the Hurts I like to see. the guy who's confident, the guy who could just shut those haters up and really just go out there and play football because he can play. And there's a lot of people that love to hate on the guy. They love to say he's trash. They love to say that he doesn't have an arm. But he didn't really need to really have an arm this game. We didn't really take it deep, which I feel like it's okay to not take it deep all the time. You don't have to. And I think it was just it was fine because the Eagles got the job done, and he looked great in the passing game. I was very impressed with Hurts, and he was calm and composed. So I like to see that a lot.
Calm, cool, and collected. Aaron, appreciate you for joining us, man. Thank you. I think you guys did a phenomenal job with him in Oklahoma, especially passing wise. I mean, Ashley, looking at some of these stats too, how did you feel about Hurts's performance?
Yeah, no, he played incredibly well. We are definitely seeing the Jalen that we were used to seeing prior to this. I was a little bit nervous. I know that the broken finger was on his non-throwing hand, but still I was a little bit nervous in terms of sacks or in terms of fumbles and snaps and things like that. But it really didn't affect him much at all. There were a couple of times that you could tell that he was uncomfortable. And I believe that they rested him or partially rested him at one day this week so far. But it was just good. Everything looked solid. And again, against a pretty decent Steelers defense that was top 10 in the league, it was great to see. You are muted, Dalton.
Muted.
I mean, 290 yards through the air. Jalen Hurts was looking sharp in this game. It was one of his best all year, and his best game, I think, since September, and it looked all good. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, I mean, he found these guys when he needed to, and they looked efficient as hell. But moving on now to our next topic, which this is a little bit of a surprise. I did not expect this, I'll say, but Brandon Graham could officially, potentially be suiting up for the Super Bowl if the Eagles playing it. KJ, I'll let you take it first. How you feeling about this?
I mean, we got to get there first. But, I mean, that is great news to hear that he is ahead of schedule. I did hear that, too, with Aiden Hutchinson. I heard that Aiden Hutchinson is ahead of schedule, too. So if the Eagles don't make it and the Lions somehow, even with all their injuries, make it instead of us, Aiden Hutchinson could be back as well. But, yeah, that's great to hear that Brandon Graham could be back. But we got to get there first. I know Dalt keeps on talking about us going to the Super Bowl, us doing that. And I mean, like, I agree with him. And I mean, like, I hope we get there. But we saw this team have a horrible collapse last year. And I think we still have to have that in our back pocket just in case. You never know, because this team has done this to us. They've broken our heart before. So we got to still be a little bit ready in case there is a stab in the heart once again, or the soul. So you just got to be a little aware. You never know. But yeah, BG, that'd be great to have him back on the field, especially in the postseason. That would be awesome.
Hope for the best, expect the worst, KJ. I like the way you think, my man. I mean, but the way that last year went, I don't think that that's a bad thing. Ashley, how are you feeling about this whole scenario?
I don't know if he's healthy enough to be back. That's great, but I do not want to have him injure himself further. And, you know, whether he decides to return for another year or not, which I think if we go to the Super Bowl, I think he's going to come back again. That's just like my gut feeling. I would hate for him to injure himself into some sort of thing that affects him long-term, just in like, not in the football world, but in like the day-to-day being a dad world. I would hate for him to mess up something that would impact that. So if he's ready to come back, great. If not, I would rather him be cheering everybody on the sidelines.
Yeah, from the perspective of family life, I like how you put that, but also from the perspective of business and chemistry. I don't want him to throw off things either. Like, say, Nolan Smith, who's been having a great year so far. 5.5 sacks, I believe, on the year, and I think 16 solo tackles. I had it written down earlier as I was preparing for the Fantastic Sports Show. But my point is, yeah, 18 solo tackles, 5.5 sacks, and 3.5 tackles for a loss. If Nolan Smith is humming and doing a great job finding his rhythm, I'm not sure that I necessarily want to bring in Brandon Graham. And it's nothing against BG. Love BG. Will always respect BG and love BG for what he did for that Super Bowl 52 season. But it's like one of those things where it's like if the chemistry with the Philly Dogs is going well, that's a big part of this team right now is the chemistry. They got a lot of it. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all we got to say about BG. BG, please rest up. It's more about your long term. But if you think you can come back, it wouldn't hurt for the depth, I think. But getting into our third to last topic here, Quinyon Mitchell, after this week, now moves up in the rankings to the #1 rookie, favorited to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, which is very exciting. Mac, take it.
Guantanamo Bay, man. Guantanamo Bay. You can't escape it. You're locked in there. You are locked in there for life. Just ask all the receivers that have played us. Guantanamo Bay is no place, no player to mess with. He is a bad man. He's a bad man. But he's not a bad player at all. He is a great player. It is just insane. And we talked about this many times. The development of this guy and the just maturity and the veteran presence this guy has, and he's only a rookie. It's great to see. It is great to see, and he keeps on locking up some of the great receivers in this league. And even if Pickens played this game, I still think he would have locked him up. I still think he would have honestly had a great game against him. George Pickens did not play because he was injured. But yeah, I mean, Guantanamo Bay, man. I love the guy, Quinyon Mitchell. He is the man. And keep it up, man. Keep it up because this city is behind you 100%.
We're behind you. And the way that Quinyon, Coop, the whole secondary and this whole rookie class, every young player that the Eagles have brought in has exceeded the expectations, aside from Jalen Reagor a couple years ago. But other than that, Howie Roseman has really been lights out, golden in the way he's drafted. And KJ, I think, did a phenomenal job highlighting how great of a young man Quinyon Mitchell is. I mean, on and off the field, this guy has it made for himself. He's just a smart dude. He makes good plays, and he's earned everything that's came to him. So that's why I'm not afraid for Quinyon Mitchell's development or as the season goes on, because you look at some of the names of receivers that he's locked down this year. Mike Evans, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson's in that mix too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
We didn't play him.
We didn't play the Vikes?
No, we didn't play him at all this season.
Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. But there's a couple other guys I'm drawing a blank on. But that whole class of receivers that he's gone up against is insane. And he hasn't had any issue. He's looked like a veteran. And you ask some of the players that he's played against, and they're like, yeah, this guy knows his shit. Like, he's a good football player. We respect him. We respect what he brings to the table. And he's going to be playing football at a high level for a long time. So buckle up, Eagles fans, because this is just the beginning. At this point, I would not probably take this bet just because you're not going to get the best return on your investment. But hey, fuck it. If you want to, put down $100 to win 40 or whatever the odds would be, maybe 60 or 80, go ahead. Ashley, how are you feeling about it?
He is rocking it, and it has been so fun to watch him develop, and I cannot wait to see him in future seasons, hopefully becoming that star player even more so than he already is.
Yeah. Now, Ash, I'll let ladies take it first into our next topic, but a quick Week 16 preview. Eagles are headed to the wretched Commander Stadium.
Yeah, they're headed to not the best stadium in the NFL. This one, just like any divisional game, is going to be a bloodbath. I will be honest, I'm headed to Madison to watch this game, where I'll be in Madison when the game is happening. And Madison, for us, does not have a good track record with the Eagles winning. So I'm hoping that this goes against normalcy for us. I am going to go 34-21 Birds is my prediction.
Ooh.
Wait, I'm trying to think. Where's Madison though?
Wisconsin.
Oh,
we're going to be in Packer territory. So
I was going to say, wait, you're going to the game, and I was like, wait.
Oh no,
you're at Landover, Maryland. I didn't think it's in Madison, Maryland.
No.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, Ash is totally right. I mean, this is going to be a close game because, I mean, they want their revenge on us. I mean, they're pissed that they lost to us in Philly. They're pissed at Saquon Barkley, or as one fan from the Commanders said, Saquon Barkley or whatever he said. It was funny. I don't know if you guys saw that video. It was kind of funny. But yeah, they were interviewing the Commanders fan. He was like, respect to the birds, Saquon Barkley. Even say his name right, but it was funny. But yes, I think this will be it'll be a good test for Jalen Hurts. I mean, you get to play a decent Commanders team. I still think a good Commanders team who have a pretty good defense. They have a pretty good offense, a young quarterback in Jaden Daniels who is confident. I mean, he's got the skills. And you get to see if you sweep the Commanders this year. Can you do it at their place? I mean, me and Dole have witnessed it. We have seen them beat the Commanders in Washington at their stadium, their crappy stadium. But I've heard there's improvements now. I've heard it's a little better now, but it still is a shit stain of a stadium. It still sucks. Their trash cans still have their logo on it. Dalt remembers, and I was laughing at that. That was hilarious. And I was like, that's just perfect because that's what the Commanders are. So
that stadium gets freaking nightmares. I mean, you remember when people were slapping on the iron metal behind us? And it was funny for the first 10 minutes, but then people like you and other Eagles fans got carried away. I'm sure it got in the Commanders fans' heads because holy shit, I hear that in my nightmares. And if you go back and watch the vlog, you can still hear the noises in it. And every time I hear that noise, it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. Just the people fucking smacking it, the Eagles fans.
Oh, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't irritating.
It was irritating good as shit.
How? We got the W. We got the W. We need to do whatever it takes. It was exciting that
we got the W.
Whatever it takes to win,
we had to work for it as fans.
Man.
We had to work for it. We had to work for it. Yeah. But I'll say this. That stadium is not a good one. I know when we did the 302 Birds Unlimited episode, shout out to Birdman, when we filmed it with Birdman, he said that this was probably his worst stadium in the NFL, which understandably so. The Eagles have to get through this game to get through the NFC East gauntlet, which is here at the end of the year. They face the Commanders, the Cowboys, and then the to-be-determined game in the Giants. So what's going to happen out of those three? Birds are going to whoop some ass. They're going to kick ass and take names. I really think that they are going to play really good football, and this is not an opportunity for the Eagles to just get a couple wins and lock in the first seed. This is an opportunity for the Eagles to dominate and get a lot of momentum. I'm not saying Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Saquon Barkley. I'm saying I want some of the backups to eat. I want to see Will Shipley get his first touchdown this year. I want to see a couple of like those things happen before the year goes out, so that going into the playoffs, if shit hits the fan, if an injury happens, if something happens here or there, these guys at least have NFL playing time. They have experience, and the whole thing isn't going to be new to them, because that's my biggest pet peeve is when you see some of these younger players in the playoffs, they're usually the TikTokers, when they'll be going downfield, they'll get tackled, and then they'll do a fucking dance or something. It's like 5, 4, 3, and they're still holding the ball, and their QB's like, give me the fucking ball. Like, give me the goddamn ball and stop dancing so we can, like, chuck it up. And, like, meanwhile, Juju Smith-Schuster or, you know, Jared McCain or whoever's the TikToker, not that McCain plays football, but you guys get my point. TikTok is ruining. I think that it should be mandatory that athletes should not be allowed to have a TikTok. Or if they do, they should not be allowed to bring their phones on the court or something, because it's getting to a point of where it's distracting really good players from what they do. But that's what I'm a little bit afraid of, is experiences like that. Not the side note about a whole thing, but my main thing is that I want these younger guys to get experience in this last stretch of the season here, and I want to see some of the younger guys eat, so it's not new to them. We'll see what happens. But headed in now to our last topic, because I know we got to keep it rolling here.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment of the week, the Bronze Birdie, where we select one Eagles player of the week to become the Bronze Birdie. Vote on Twitter right now at 302BIRDS. Vote right now.
It's funny. Me and KJ start grooving every time we hear it. It is a catchy song. And KJ, your voice goes along well with it. Sounds very good.
Thank you very much.
Very boxer-esque. But getting into our bronze birdie this week, we'll quickly go over these 4 guys and then give you guys the results. Like the video said, if you guys want to get in on this action next week, go to Twitter. Make sure to follow us, and then you can vote next week in the poll. We usually do it anytime from Monday to Wednesday, depending on the date and how organized we are. And that's not we, that's Dalton. Usually it's me. I'm the problem. So if there's any lateness, you can blame it on me. Everybody that does our team, Shardy that's running our Twitter's crushing it. So anyway, I want to get into these bronze birdie recommendations. So we had Jalen Hurts first up, who was at the top of the list with 290 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 125.3 QBR rating. That's pretty good stats. Next up was the old guy, Vic the Mick. Yep, he's blowing off the dust. He held Russell Wilson to 128 passing yards and Najee Harris to 14 yards on 6 attempts. That was pretty lights out. Jaylen Warren also didn't have the best day. And then you look at the next candidate. Well, it's A.J. Brown with 8 receptions, 110 yards, and 1 tutty on the day. And the shut the fuck up play, of course, like I talked about in the end zone. That play, kids, that's called shut the fuck up. That's when you tell the media. All right. And last but not least, this one's newer. He deserves a drum roll, but I got to give it to Nolan Smith. Thank you, Mac. I appreciate you, brother. But Nolan Smith had a great game for himself, and he's having a great end of the season here as he's getting more opportunity and more playing time. He had 4 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 win for the Philadelphia Eagles. But, Mac, would you mind helping me now to tell you guys who the winner of the bronze birdie this week was? Well, it was Jalen Hurts tying with Vic Fangio. So when you look at both these guys, they both deserve it. Jalen Hurts obviously having a lights out game, having probably his best passer game of the year when you look at the stats, the touchdowns, and all in all combined. And then you look at Vic Fangio holding Russell Wilson to that. Very impressive. Both these guys are getting a bronze birdie and deserve it. KJ, how are your thoughts on it? I mean, who did you feel that deserved it? Either of these two or somebody else?
I think it is either Jalen Hurts or Vic Fangio. I think for Vic Fangio, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, was he the defensive coordinator in that Super Bowl where the Broncos lost to the Seahawks? I
might have been.
I think he was. I'm pretty sure he was. I might be wrong. This is where we needed Luke to be here. But, I mean, I don't even know if Luke would be able to say it or not because he's not a Broncos fan. But maybe Snake Beast would be able to tell us. But, yes, I will tell you this. I think Fangio, if this is true, I mean, someone can look it up. But he got his revenge. And he totally was that true, Dolt? You checked?
I didn't see. I didn't get to look it up.
I saw you nod your head, so I didn't know.
No, I'm nodding about him getting his revenge. I agree with what you said.
So it was great to see him get revenge if it is true. But yes, I think that was great for Vic Fangio. I mean, he's really done like a 360 kind of flip. I mean, he has really just kind of turned this defense around from a young squad to really looking like a veteran defensive squad. And it's great to see. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, though, I think he made his case for a bronze birdie for sure because he, as I saw, he had a great game. He shut the haters up. And, I mean, he was slinging it. He was honestly, he was going through his progressions and he was doing great. And I really do feel like for having a really struggling Panthers game, this was a great game to have to shut those people up that were saying all this stuff like, oh, he can't play. Oh, he's lost it and everything like that. He was able to come into a great defense against a great defense like the Steelers and throw for 290 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I think that was great. They both deserve the bronze birdie. I think that is actually great by whoever's voting. It's our Twitter, correct?
Yeah, it's our Twitter. Yes, sir.
Okay, so good job, Twitter. Good job, tweeters. You guys did a great job because these two are the right winners. I would say it's a tie for sure because I keep on thinking I got all these reasons for Vic Fangio and I got all these reasons for Jalen Hurts. So you guys hit it right on the head. Good job.
And if you guys want to vote next week, be sure to check out our Twitter. Ash, anything you want to say?
No, that KJ summed it all up.
Perfect. Well, that's all we got for you guys. I want to give everybody our love and wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. We appreciate you.
Merry Christmas.
No,
What a good one
next
looks
week's
like.
show is not on Wednesday. We are having a shortened week. Monday at 9 p.m. we will be live, y'all. So we have one more
Mikey
show.
D called it. I will say that my good friend Mikey D called it. He said, "Are you guys gonna have a show on Monday night? There's no way you're gonna do it Christmas Day."
No way we'll do it Christmas Day. We're gonna do it on Monday instead. So Monday evening, Ashley, thank you for saving
Monday.
me.
Be there, be there.
Monday, come hang out with us on Christmas Eve. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll be here talking about Philly sports and whatever's going on. Monday Night Football will be on, so we'll be able to talk about that and everything else. But that's all we got for you guys. Want to wish you guys a happy whatever the hell this week. And I guess we'll see you before Christmas. So
we'll see them before Christmas.
I hope you guys have a good night and see you
Hanukkah,
on Saturday for Sipping Sports.
Yeah.
I don't know what holidays are next, so I'm not going to say the wrong thing. But anyway, hope everybody has a good night. And if you guys,
Kwanzaa's going to pop up, it will.
Okay,
So
but
I'm
want to
just
tell
saying-
everybody. Want to tell everybody, check out the Fantastic Sports Show tonight. If you aren't, I'll be on there. It should be a lot of fun. Fox 29, 11 o'clock in the Dart up there now. Appreciate y'all. Have a good one, guys.
Merry Christmas, all you Cowboys fans.